Welcome back. Let's put the spotlight on Kalpataru Projects. The company yesterday received new orders worth 3,244 crore rupees for FY25. The company has a vision of revenue growth of 25,000 crores and an order book of 50,000 crore rupees. Amit Uplenchwar, director at Kalpataru Projects, is with us to talk about the business momentum and, of course, the outlook for the new year. Amit, thank you very much for joining in. Season's greetings to you. So let's just do a breakdown of the order that you announced yesterday, 3,244 crores. I believe it's across buildings and factories, residential buildings, etc. Just run us through the flow, because earlier in December also you announced a couple of orders. So in Q3, what's the inflow and which are the segments where you're getting most of these new orders in?
So, Surabhi, first of all, also to all of you and all your viewers, season's greeting and upcoming New Year wishes in advance. These order bookings for us have been across the board. As you know, we have 6 key segments that we operate in, being, buildings and factories, infrastructure, water, transmission, railways, and oil and gas. And if I tell you up to, year to date, we've got orders in excess of 17,500 crores that we've booked already. And we are sitting on a very comfortable L1 position, which, takes our current order book in excess of 50,000 crores, which is an all-time high for us in terms of order booking. We had said that the order booking target at the beginning of the year should be close to 26,000 crores. And I think by the end of the year, we should be achieving that target as we had promised at the beginning of the year.
So, Amit, just the second part of the question then, you're saying order book is standing at a healthy 50,000 crores. Your intake so far this year is about 17,000 crores. Is it uniformly divided across the segments, whether it's, power transmission, building factories?
So, to answer that question, we've got transmission, and so let's start with that, right? Our T&D, which over the last 2 years was seeing subdued activity, has now really stepped up the gas in terms of order awards, announcements, and further bids that are on the horizon, right? So today, we are looking at almost 2.5 lakh crores worth of opportunity set in T&D in the next 3 to 4 years before 2031. So T&D has been giving us a large amount of this order book. Close to 35% of our orders are coming from our transmission and distribution business, almost 40%. Our water business has been getting a lot of orders across various schemes of government, be it Jal Jeevan Mission, be it lift irrigation, so on and so forth. Our building and factories division, and as you would have seen in our one of the large orders of our, the orders that we declared today, has been one of the largest projects Kalpataru will be undertaking at 13 million square feet for a private developer in the south. And, so across the board in our urban infrastructure, we got the letter of award for our first PBM-based underground metro system project for one of the states. And so across urban infra, T&D, water, building factories, we've been getting orders. And so it's not skewed to any one division, but all of them are giving us this order mix as we speak.
So 17,500 by way of order inflow so far. By the year end, FY24, what could be the total quantum of order inflows and your L1 number right now?
So, we are in a good L1 position. Exact numbers, because we still have to close the quarter, Q3. But I think our target was 26,000. And looking at our L1 position and some of the other tenders that yet to be opened, I think we should get to 26,000 crores of overall order book win at the end of the year.
Okay. And what about your FY24 guidance of 25% top line growth and 8 to 8.5% EBITDA margins on track?
So, basis our H1 numbers and the efforts that are going on, I think our 25% revenue growth at the end of the year is something that we are still working very hard towards. And hopefully we should get there at the end of Q4. And EBITDA margin also, we said we will do between 4.5% to 5% of PBT, Rima, and we were very hopeful that we should get to that number also at the end of the year.
Okay, got that. Just a quick word on, good morning, sir, Prashant here. On the 2.5 lakh crore number that you said in the T&D segment, that number is essentially the amount of ordering which will happen in the T&D segment all the way till FY31?
That's correct, because there is a lot of renewable energy, close to 500 megawatts, that has to get connected to the grid. All these projects they're already announced, so you have to have these lines ready for you to evacuate these, the renewable energy. So for 2031, 2.4 trillion rupees is something that has been announced, and we hope to get a share of that as well, being one of the largest players in that space in the country.
No, absolutely. And what is the what's your share typically when these orders come up? I mean, is that the way to look at it, or what had historically?
I think it is a
yeah.
So, Prashant, this depends on at what margins people are bidding, and so I don't think there is a set pattern. But having said that, for very large complex project in the transmission and domestic space globally, Kalpataru is one of the top players because we operate across very different segments where the competition is limited to 4 or 6 players worldwide, whether it's 765 kV or 800 kV. So very large and complex transmission line projects. And so, it's with logic, we should get a part of that opportunity set for us.
Okay. Just one last question. Could you update us to what the current debt levels are at, and what are debt reduction plans going forward? There was a note from Novama, the broker, I believe, which said that the sale of some transmission assets along with some restructuring, exit of road BOT projects could actually help you do that. So if you could help us with what the numbers are, what the plans are.
So I think, debt as a standalone number can skew the picture. Instead, what we've been doing, so whilst we've been steadily reducing our debt over the years, but at the same time, when you're growing at 25% on a revenue basis year on year, you also need to do CAPEX. So what we are doing is we are looking at our net working capital days, and to keep that below 100. We are looking at our interest cost on a standalone basis for the core EPC business at close to 2% of our revenue. And this is what we intend to keep at, which is a very healthy balance sheet parameter to see the debt levels of an organization. And we are completely committed to keep our interest rates, in spite of the increased interest rate regime, to be around 2% of revenue, and net working capital days of close to 100.
Amit, we'll leave the conversation here for now. Thank you very much for joining in. The stock is up 10% today, buoyed by the recent order wins. And the company is confident about achieving their FY24 guidance of 25% top-line growth and PBT margins of 4 to 4.5%. But as we approach the end of 2023,